Sorry about that. I did not realize my mic was off. Oops. I know that I've got to get good shoes, or otherwise I'm not. I'll end up not being able to walk. Like I did when we did Universal back in September. Like, I could barely put. I mean, I could walk for small bits of time, but like maybe like 10 minutes into a walk, my knee would start to be really irritated and really, really hurt. So I definitely, I gotta do something. Now, I mean, I wear like big, thick, comfy, Croc flip-flops like all the time. Like they're really thick and everything like that. And that's probably what I wear most of the time. But, and I keep getting like conflicted. Like some people are like, oh yeah, Hokas are the best or On Clouds are the best. I've done Brooks before. I've been pretty good with Brooks in the past. But I just got like I'm sorry, $175 for a pair of Brooks. Hokas can't be that much worse. I don't even. But the thing is, like, what Hokas are the best for arthritis? I used to do New Balance, but New Balance didn't really. So for Hokas, I'm supposed to get the Bondis or a Gaviota. Yeah, and how much are they? Well, if I get the men's, they're a little cheaper. But not by much. I mean, they're pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same. I mean, I can look directly on the website. Yeah, they're 180. Yeah, the Hoka Gaviotas are 180. They're $5 more than the women. They're $5 more than the Brooks. Although I do like the color of these better. I mean, those are fine. I don't know. They're just so incredibly expensive just to get. And what is it? On Clouds? Oh my gosh, shoes. Shoes. Let's get some shoes. On Cloud Runner 3. Holy cow! Never mind. Jeez, the On Clouds are $280 for a pair of frickin' shoes. Yeah, $280. $280 for a pair of shoes. Oh, wait. No, here's some that are 160. What does it say? The best on cloud runner? Cloud flyer. Okay, let's look up the cloud flyer shoes. How bad are they? Oh, they're only 135. They only come in ugly colors. I know. That's not the important part. They don't... There, they got one. One in my size. And what's the other one? Cloud Monster. Okay. I still think I'm probably going to go with the Brooks. Oh, yeah. The Cloud Monster is more expensive. All day comfort. All day movement. What's the difference? Yeah, I don't think I'm going with On Clouds. I'll either go with Hoka's or... What's wrong? Not really sure, but I've... See, mine, I have, with the psoriatic arthritis, my joints are like... I've had, like, the joints of a 90-year-old since I was in my teen years. So, like, my joints are all kinds of messed up. No, it was me, Belle. My mic was off. It was me. My mic was muted. It wasn't you. It was me. It was 100% me. I hated it. It's just, why are these shoes so expensive? Ooh, yeah. Gout. Ooh. Oh, well, that's because you have ADHD, King. Wait, did you know that people with ADHD are more likely to have hypermobile joints? I've shown this before on my live. You are not supposed to be able to do this. Apparently, most people can't touch the back of their head to their shoulder blades. And I can make it go further. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Well, EDS is a comorbidity with ADHD. Most people have both. But there's not a whole lot of, like, treatment for EDS. Like, you could go to the doctor, get diagnosed with EDS, but, like, there's nothing you can do about it. Because, like, my doctor, I talked to them about it, and I was like, I think I have EDS. And he goes, you most definitely have EDS. He's like, we'd have to do, like, lab work to confirm it, but you probably have it. But there's no treatment, there's no drug. Like, we could just say that you have it to say that you have it, but there's really nothing we can do. I was like, that's fair. No reason then. I mean, my sister has EDS. She's confirmed EDS. You can push my fingers out of my palm. Yeah. Now, my favorite is this. Being able to put my thumb on my wrist. Oh, no. Now I'm scared, King. Yeah, you can get splints and other braces. Yeah, one of the things is I hate sleeping with I'm really supposed to, at this point, sleep with the splints on my wrist because of, just being hypermobile and carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm getting to the point where I should wear splints on my wrists. But, I hate the way that they feel when I'm sleeping. And I like to sleep, like most people who are neurodivergent, I sleep with, you know, all contorted up. But again, it's doing damage to my wrist to constantly be sleeping with my wrists up like that. So, uh, I sleep with a teddy bear. Yeah, I sleep with a teddy bear so that I don't so I'm not sleeping like this all night with my arms, like the, what is this, T-Rex arms or whatever. Um, no, it's not called T-Rex arms when you do this. Broken wrist syndrome. That's what it is. So I don't sleep with broken wrist syndrome. I have a teddy bear because I can hug that, and then I'm not being like a weirdo. Well, there's the other part of it is like usually I have to have my arm under my pillow, and then it's so I'm a side sleeper. I sleep on my side. I have my arm under my pillow, bent up underneath, on my side. And usually if I lay on the floor, if you're familiar with recovery position, like what they teach you in CPR, I sleep in recovery position. One arm under, you know, as this like this, and then my legs, the top leg is bent, the lower leg is straight. It's weird. I sleep in a weird thing. You know, don't worry, I'm 18 and still sleep with a stuffed animal, and I have no shame. I am 37, I still sleep with a teddy bear, and I have no shame. And I pointed out to my mother recently, because my mother was, like, judging me on the fact that I still sleep with a teddy bear. She's like, you are married and have children. How can you still sleep with a teddy bear? And I'm like, first of all, my husband doesn't care that there's a teddy bear in the bed, so it's fine. And second of all, might I remind you that my grandmother, her mother, slept with a teddy bear in her bed in her 80s. So I don't want to hear nothing, okay? I'm 37 and I sleep with a teddy bear. It's fine. And I don't snuggle with it every night. I only do that where I don't sleep every night with my wrists like this, but I notice that if I'm like starting to do that when I'm trying to fall asleep, that's when I'll grab the bear so that I can protect my wrists. I can't sleep with a body pillow. You're 46, Luna. You turn my arms off. Hey, sometimes I wish I could sleep like the Borg, where I just kind of like go into a charging station and then fall asleep that way, because I feel like that would get me to sleep faster than like tossing and turning for an hour until I find that sweet spot. Which, by the way, why is it that I can only find the legit, like, most comfortable sleeping position when like 5 minutes before I have to wake up? What do I do with my arms? What do I do with my arms while I'm sleeping? Yes, Belle. I did find that. Like it's like you find like your bed turns into the most comfortable cloud. Your bed turns into the most comfortable cloud. The temperature regulation is like just right. Your sheets feel the softest. Like everything is perfect. 10 minutes before the alarm's gonna go off and you have to get up. So not fair. But yes, Belle, I have found that as I've gotten older, I really don't care what people think anymore. It does not matter anymore. And I think that's something that comes with like maturation. But yeah, I used to be that person that really cared about what everybody thought all the time, and now I don't. You have to get my body to move. Yeah, that too. I had to start, like, my husband laughed at me because I started sleeping, because I sleep on my side. I had to get, like, a pillow for my knees, because I can feel my knees now. One of the things that they don't tell you, when you have extreme amounts of weight loss, especially if you've been, chunky for most of your life, when you lose a lot of weight, you can feel your bones. Yeah, I didn't know I could never, when I was heavier. Like, here's my leg, right? There was like this much extra padding on my leg around my knees, or at least like this part where my knees go together. There was like an extra inch or two or three that was like that was there and like padded between my knees. Well, now that that's gone, when I go to lay on my side, my knees touch. Like the bones touch, and I don't like that I can feel the bones touch. And I don't know if normal people have their bones touch and that's fine for them, but I have lived most of my life with my bones not being able to touch when I sleep on the side. And so like I had to get a knee pillow just because I was suddenly aware of my bones and I do not like it. Lent got your body for summer? Nice. So like, hey Brandon. So yeah, it's such a like that's one of those things where like nobody talks to you about weight. Like, your clothes are gonna be weird, or your skin is gonna be weird, but no one explains to you how you're gonna be able to feel your bones. Maturating? Yeah, I like to say weird fun words like that. It's not maturation. It's not. I mean, it is technically maturation, but it's just a different. To me, it's just a different way of looking at it, because it's not about getting older in the sense. It's just learning that what other people think doesn't matter. And some of that is also like being on social media, like doing this with y'all. It makes a difference because congratulations, brownies! All right, everybody send like some, I don't know, blue hearts to brownies. Get some blue hearts in the chat just for brownies, because that is amazing. Yeah, you can feel your bones, and it's not a great feeling. The other thing that I hate the most is my wedding band doesn't fit. I have had a size 7.5 ring finger for as long as I can remember. And now my rings don't fit. Like, I have spacers. I don't know if you guys can tell. I have spacers on my rings just so they don't slip off my hand. And even then, I'm puffy right now. Thank you, being a girl. But even now with being puffy, my rings are pretty loose. Yeah, no, it's okay. So brownies over on the other app, the clock app, lost 40 pounds. So I was gonna say send some blue hearts for that. I can't eat large meals anymore. Neither can I. I ate a pretty big meal for dinner, but that's because I didn't eat breakfast or lunch or have any snacks today. Oh, I also figured out where my headache came from yesterday. I'd like to see those Apple Watch steps. I don't really walk that much. I would like to walk more. It's a time thing. I just don't have the time. Yeah, I don't see, if I eat a large meal then I throw up. But I had a pretty decent dinner. I had one large taco. Oh no, Luna. But yeah, anyway, my headache from yesterday was from my GLP-1 because I took too much. So I just run. No, I take a shot every week. I inject myself with a semi-glutide and it just melts the fat off my body. I've been doing that for 2 years now. I am at 95 pounds. I have lost 95 pounds since I started. I would like to do 5 more just so I can say that I lost 100, but I really don't need to. I look pretty good. Do I have a before photo? Yes. I mean, really, honestly, if you just scroll back to 2 years ago in my videos, you'll see. I feel like I look a lot bigger. I don't know. Can I pull up a photo? Let's see. I might be able to. Maybe. I'll pull up a photo and then I'll read. It's not loading. Of course it's not loading. Yeah, really, honestly, you just gotta go back and look at some of my older videos. I lost 95 pounds. I am short. I am only 5'4". Yeah, it's not... I don't know how to add... sound effects, background, enhance, maybe? No. So I'm easy to carry then. I lost 95 pounds, but I'm still, I'm 130 now. So it's not like I'm a twig. I definitely still have a body. And that's okay. I am learning to live. It's not perfect. Yeah, it's not letting me put a background on. You'll just have to follow me, Brett, and I will share, I will make a video about my weight loss. There's one that that's a really good picture that I like to use, because it was literally the week before I started taking Wegovy, or Ozempic. I think I had like trial Ozempic while I waited for the insurance company to approve like getting the shot. So, but yeah, you'll have to follow me and I'll post a video tomorrow of like my whole weight loss, where I'm at. But there is a picture of me that I like to use as like my example, because it really like I feel like I look like in it. I started at 225 pounds. Now I'm 130, and it has been a journey. And it's not, the shot does a lot. Not gonna lie about that, but one of the other things about the shot that people don't realize, and I tell this to people all the time, it has put my autoimmune disorders, including my thyroid autoimmune disorder, into remission, which is probably how I was able to lose as much as I have, is that it actually like dealt with some of the health issues that made me gain weight, in addition to just in general helping with blood sugar and curbing cravings. And there's a video I saw, he's like a bodybuilder, he's older, he lost a lot of weight on a GLP-1, and he talks about what it's like, and he does some of these response videos to like skinny people making like, and personal trainers just disparaging the shot. And there was one I saw today, and it was like, if willpower was the issue, it's like willpower and stuff like that. And he brought up an interesting point. Before I started taking the shot, I thought about food constantly. No, brownies, it kind of had the opposite effect. Yeah, I have to make sure I drink plenty of water, and I take magnesium every day. But it was like, I used to think about food like every second of every day was thinking about food. I've always I've pointed out to people that don't understand, like my husband, bless his heart, he eats like a toddler. He's always ate like a toddler. He eats incredibly small like he eats one really big meal a day, and then the rest of the time he doesn't eat breakfast. He eats a really big lunch, doesn't have any snacks, and then eats like a toddler for dinner. Very European of him, honestly, but he's as skinny as a rail. He does not think about food ever. Like, food is not a thing that really occurs to him. And my mom and I used to, my mom lived with us, we enjoyed watching My 600-Pound Life, and Mando dad was just always like, I don't understand how people are like that. I'm like, because food is an addiction. Like, I am addicted, or at least I was addicted to food. I would think about food all the time. I would plan my day around what food I could get to eat. What are my favorite snacks? Can I have pizza? Can I have 3 slices of pizza? Like, it was, like, the food noise is very bad, and then when you start the shot, the food noise just kind of goes away. And that's one of the things that, like, really helps you with all the cravings and stuff like that, is the food noise is gone. It's just gone. And it's not, and when you think, like, people are like, I don't understand how food can be an addiction. I was like, it's an addiction. Food was an addiction. The thing is, it's not like gambling. It's not like alcohol. It's not like watching spicy movies. Like, it's not like that. Like, you don't need those things to live, right? You need food to live. Like, you can't just, like, if you have a gambling problem, you just don't go to the casino anymore, and that helps curb the gambling problem. If you are addicted to food, you can't just stop eating. You still have to eat. So, but yeah, the food noise is gone. It's helped my autoimmune disorders. It's done a lot for, like, fixing issues that I didn't know that I had. And so, like, I am, the thing is, people ask me, like, are you gonna stop? And I have pointed out, I was like, I can't. I literally will be taking this for the rest of my life because I have to. The thing is, it's not just to, like, maintain my weight, which is nice. I know it'll help with my heart in the future and things like that. But with the fact that it has healed my thyroid, the fact that it has reduced my psoriasis issues, my PCOS, like, all of those things, it's like, basically this has become a medication. Like, if you have high cholesterol and you have to take, I don't know, whatever you take for high cholesterol, or if you have high blood pressure, or, all of these things, like, it's basically turned into that. It is a maintenance medication that I will have to take for the rest of my life, just like I take my bipolar medication, just like I take my allergy medication. Like, I'm stuck on this for the rest of my life. I mean, I guess I could go off of it. It's not like I'll die, but at the same time, my quality of life will go back to where it was beforehand. I like having more energy. It's a lot. There's a lot that people don't realize. Well, that's good. My mom has pseudo gout, so she sometimes has issues with that. But, like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Living with chronic illness, it sucks. You gotta learn to deal with it, okay? It's like we've talked about, is like the pain scale. Well, the pain scale for me, as someone who has chronic pain, is a lot different than somebody who, lives a normal life. If I go to the doctor and I say that it's a 7, it means that on a normal person, it's a 7. On me, it's annoying, and that's why I'm not on the ground screaming. If it was a 10, I would be on the ground screaming. Oh my gosh, Thentali! That is awful! Alright, are we ready to read? I should probably read. I promised you guys to read, and the book is really good, and we've just been chit-chatting. They're 2 short chapters. We'll be good. It's fine. I apologize. We're just chatting away. I took my bipolar medication, but I did not take my ADHD medicine. Not that it would still be working now at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, but, have a good night, King. I keep looping. Let me take it off Wi-Fi. Usually that fixes it. Is that better? I took my phone off Wi-Fi. Soon this will not be a problem. We're switching our internet service provider so that we can get much faster, much better internet. Okay, well, hopefully that fixes it. The 1917 Lenten fast. What is that? Yeah, I fixed it. We should be good now. Alright. If you're new here, hi, welcome. We are reading MAUL Lockdown. We are almost done with MAUL Lockdown, and I keep forgetting to order the new books. They're in my thrift books cart, but I keep forgetting to hit order. So yeah, we are reading MAUL Lockdown. The next book we're going to read is Queen's Peril. Is that the first one? Yeah, that's the first one. We're going to read Queen's Peril next. And then we're going to read The Phantom Menace. So, yay! But yeah, we're going through the Legends timeline slowly but surely. So yeah. Chapter 55. Inbound Flight. C.O. Dawson was on site when the prison barge Purge docked outside the Hive's loading bay, but he didn't actually see the action. Not all of it, anyway. Later on, he would testify before a Galactic Board of Inquiry that the only reason he'd survived was that he hadn't stuck around to watch it all go down. That wasn't quite the truth, but it was close enough, and by that time there wasn't anybody else left to contradict him. He was on deck with a dozen other guards, and the prison's loading and landing crew as the Purge settled creakingly into a docking berth just outside the space station. Like most of the freighters and transport ships that had arrived here, the barge was far too big to land inside the hangar, so the docking became a ritualized mating ceremony of pressurized coupling adapters and long extendable gangway, whose port extended down into the cargo hold itself. When the port finally opened, Dawson and the other guards straightened up, each of them gripping glow sticks and stun spikes, awaiting for the signal from Doyle, the chief gantry officer on duty, that typically indicated the offloading of new prisoners and supplies. Standard loading and unloading protocol was that the Purge's own guards would step off first, with inmates to follow. Dawson and the others stood staring expectantly at the open port. But the port remained empty. "Come on!" After a moment, Dawson glanced at the guard next to him in annoyance. "What's this about?" he muttered. "I was supposed to be off shift 20 minutes ago. Now we've got to stay here waiting for—" He broke off mid-sentence. Two nervous-looking guards had just stepped out of the port, each of them struggling to hold up one end of an ungainly, heavy-looking shipping crate. They were followed by 4 more guards, escorting a group of 9 prisoners. At least they were wearing prison uniforms, although C.O. Dawson thought these creatures were even more imposing than what he was used to. Trandoshans, Gamorreans, Gran, species that he'd tangled with before, certainly, but never altogether like this. And then he realized why they all looked so dangerous. They were all smiling. Grinning, actually. "Scrummy-looking buggers, aren't they?" Dawson growled, tightening his grip on his static pike, already thumbing the power button and wishing they'd been armed with blasters. He didn't like the feel of things, and was already aware of an unpleasant tension gathering in his lungs, making him feel as though his uniform was buttoned too tightly across his chest and throat. Lately, there had been a paranoid air of skullduggery inside the prison itself. Rumors that the Hutts or other crime syndicates had been sending their own people in as inmates, or even guards, to undermine operations here. Dawson didn't believe it, but the possibility still made him uneasy. He glanced back at the other guard, Greer. "Let's knock some of the snark off their faces, shall we?" "The matches will do that soon enough," Greer muttered back. "But I'm not sure I'm willing to wait that long." "Me either." They stepped forward, pikes at the ready. The guards carrying the shipping crate had stopped 10 meters in front of them and put it down with a noticeable expression of relief. Eyeing the inmates, Dawson and the others came forward to receive them. "Gentlemen, welcome," Siddiqui Blur spoke up from behind them, and Dawson glanced back over his shoulder to see the warden standing there, along with her droid. Dawson took his hand off the butt of his static pike and forced himself to calm down. It was highly unorthodox for management to come down personally to supervise the offloading of new inmates, and he wondered if there was something special about this entire operation after all. Warden Blur eyed the inmates and the guards who'd escorted them. "Where's your captain?" "Still aboard the vessel." "Captain Styrene usually comes down to greet me himself," she said, and turned to the new inmates. "How many are there?" "Just 9. "Only 9? Siddiqui glanced at the droid for verification. We were supposed to receive 32 inmates. Just 9, the guard answered back stiffly, and Dawson noticed the man's eyes flicking anxiously back towards the docking module, as if he couldn't wait to get back aboard, or anywhere for that matter, as long as it wasn't here. Sorry, I got sunburned. I don't know if you guys can tell. I got sunburned the other day, and now it's starting to get itchy. I hate this part of the sunburn process, is the itchiness. Frowning, Siddiqui approached the shipping crate. What about the freight? Is this all of it? Everything on our manifest. I highly doubt that. See for yourself. Thank you, Siddiqui said. I will. As she walked over to inspect the crate, Dawson saw the whole thing shift slightly to the right. Whatever was in there was large enough to make the entire crate move. He was already opening his mouth to shout out a warning when the lid burst open. Warden! Dawson started, but that was all he had time for. The Trandoshan, who'd been hiding inside the crate, had a Westar M5 blaster rifle in both hands. By the time Warden Blur dropped to the floor, her reflexes, Dawson realized, had just saved her life. The Shan was already firing point-blank into the group of guards directly in front of him. Blaster bolts streaked, flickering ribbons of death into the unsuspecting front line of Cog Hive 7 COs, and everything around him started happening with dreamlike clarity. Excuse me. Dawson saw Greer, the guard 2 meters away from him, go ragdolling backward across the floor of the hangar with a sizzling hole in his chest, leaving nothing more behind him than a stinking cloud of burned flesh and fabric. Ugh. Blinking, Dawson recoiled and hit the floor. He could hear the warden's administrative droid clucking out panicked noises in the distance. Somewhere off to his right, Warden Blur herself had disappeared completely from sight. Hit or not, he couldn't tell, nor at this moment did he particularly care. The thought that kept circling his mind, this can't be happening. Whatever it is, I was supposed to be off the clock 20 fracking minutes ago, did nothing to help him get a grip on himself. In front of him, and all around, things were happening almost too quickly to track. The 2 guards who had carried the crate out of the purge were running, actually flat out sprinting back up the gangway for cover, while the prisoners they'd brought down had already thrown off their manacles and leg restraints, which Dawson realized, with a dawning sense of horror, had never been fastened to begin with. Cold sweat broke out over his forehead, making his scalp feel too tight for his skull. The whole thing had been a setup, and they'd walked right into it. Grinning wider than ever, the prisoners charged forward. The Trandoshan inside the crate was pulling out blasters, rifles, sidearms, tossing them out to his Confederates, who seized them eagerly and joined the one-sided firefight. Dawson turned to flee. The hangar around him was already full of smoke and the sheared metal stench of spent blaster rounds. The remaining guards and loading personnel were taking cover on both sides of him, but the hangar had been cleared to accommodate the incoming prisoners and supplies, and there was nothing to hide behind. He thought if he could get to the turbolift, he might stand a chance of... Bang! An explosion from inside the Purge's berthing port jerked his head around, and he looked back just in time to see the bodies of the 2 guards who'd just run in come flying back out, their corpses sprawling limply across the floor of the hangar. There was something coming out of the smoke, something big. Staring, Dawson realized that he was looking at some kind of giant, floating, hollow-vid projector, hauled forward by a pair of Kell dragons, grayish-black quadrupedal lizards straining frenziedly at their leashes. The image on the holovid was bloated, leering figure that he recognized only from secondhand footage and word of mouth, though he knew immediately who it was. Jabba the Hutt. All at once, Dawson knew the rumors were true, but at that point, of course, it was entirely too late. So, Belle, that sounds a lot like the way that they fast for Ramadan. I didn't realize that the Lenten fast was so closely in comparison to the way that they fast for Ramadan. Since you can, that you fast during Lent, you can only eat once per day. Didn't know that. Okay. Chapter 56. 12 by 18. Braced at the top of the turbolift, Maul used his free hand to jimmy the edge of the speaker's faceplate into the locked ceiling hatch, prying it open. The edge was too big for the gap, and his hand kept slipping. He closed his eyes, summoning the power of the dark side, searching the hatch, probing it for structural weakness. It didn't budge. Blinking back sweat, he rededicated himself to the task at hand. It was growing feverishly hot inside the lift, where Warden Blur had no doubt intended to roast him alive, or until she broke down whatever rebellious aspect she saw in him, and turned him into... what? Her mascot? Her house pet? Or something even more servile? Nope, never mind. The notion revolted him, and he jammed the metal strip in deeper between the locked hatch and its housing, wiggling it back and forth. Boiling with impatience, he released the concentrated energy field against the hatch, battering it, but it still wouldn't budge. Maul cursed, the anger rising up him from wherever it lived, and toiled endlessly. Tightening his grip on the makeshift tool, he started working again on the hatch, forcing himself to take his time, fighting to ignore the suffocating heat. The baked air that filled his lungs as if he were drawing breath directly from a blast furnace. He fixed his gaze straight up. The hatch itself, an unremarkable 12 by 18 centimeter rectangle, had become his entire world. 12 by 18, and in the end it represented the difference between completing his mission and perishing in shame and obscurity. Slifer, Radik, the Keepoos. He clenched his teeth, the heat very close to him now, pressing in from all sides, clinging to him like a second skin. By now the walls had become scalding steel plates, burning the palm of his hands and fingers holding him in place. The inside of his mouth felt cool by comparison. A drop of sweat hit the floor, and he realized that he could actually hear it sizzle. If the temperature kept going up like this, he guessed that he might have another minute or two before he blacked out from heat protestation. And then he kept working. There was an odd, meaty smell rising up around him, and when his blistered palm shifted slightly on the raw, he realized that it was his own flesh beginning to roast. Master, I will not fail. He breathed in, breathed out. An odd narcotic dizziness had started to take hold of him, and he reached down deep into whatever remained of his consciousness, forcing himself to focus. He needed to find Egan Truax. If he could just... All at once, the hatch popped open. Cool air rushed down from above in a blessed, invigorating cloud, and Maul dropped the steel plate to the floor and scrambled up through the hatchway into the near darkness. He was standing on the top of the lift, gazing up at the endless expanse of the shaft. The sweat had already dried on his skin. Giving himself a moment, he narrowed his eyes and stretched out with his feelings while his eyes acclimated to the lightless space. The details began to resolve themselves around him, and in front of him was a series of steel rungs embedded directly into the wall, at half-meter intervals. It was an easy jump from here. He sprang forward, caught the first rung, and began to climb. Boy, I'm coming for you. Well, tomorrow you'll get a longer chapter. Chapter 57 is a couple pages. So... I think I might read on Friday, too. Because... yeah, I might read on Friday. We'll see. It's a good book. Filet-O-Fish? Oh, I can't eat Filet-O-Fish. I try. Every, Lent, I try. And I can't. Ah! I'm so... Ugh! I guess when I take a shower tomorrow, I'll take my little, scrubby thing and really scrub my back so I can get... so I'm not as itchy. Got to shed my skin like a snake! Because I burned. Now I'm not. The problem is getting lotion to, my center spine is near impossible. At least my little scrubby thing has a... it's got a handle. Ooh, that sounds like too much food, Belle. Alright, I'm gonna go on Thrift Books and order the next book. Queen's Peril. Add to cart. Should already be in my cart, isn't it? No? It's not already in my cart. That's fine. Catch up on book-to-screen phenomenon. And there's Dungeon Crawler Carl. Alright. And... I mean, I can reach pretty far, but... Yeah, I could have my husband do it. Hang on, I gotta look. What is the other book? I should probably get Phantom Menace. Books? Oh look, the visual dictionary. Already have it. Yep. William Shakespeare's The Phantom Menace. Ooh. That one sounds kind of fun. Is there like an excerpt that I can read? I just want to like, I want to... Authentic meter stage direction, reimagined movie scenes and dialogue, hidden Easter eggs will entertain and impress fans of Star Wars and Shakespeare. Like every scene and character from the film appears in the play, along with 20 woodcut style illustrations that depict an Elizabethan version of the Star Wars galaxy. Oh 3PO, oh 3PO, wherefore art thou 3PO? This is kind of cool. I'm gonna buy it just because I'm curious. It sounds fun. Plus, it's only like $5. And I will save a spell for Chameleon for later. But I will get Burying an Hourglass. So. Okay. Well, it has been fun, y'all. But I only got 3 hours of sleep last night. And... I'm gonna do it. Mother made me do it when I was a wee lass. I always feel weird about my kids doing it. I don't like making them do that. Putting my sunblock on. I do it in a pinch if I can't find another adult, but anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. Everybody have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully the astrology charts were right for tomorrow. Anyway, I love you guys. Make good choices. Stay safe out there. Have a good night. And same thing goes for all of y'all over on YouTube and Twitch. I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you make good choices. I love you.